Woo-wee, there was a lot of horror dropped over the last week. I'm trying to keep up with it, but I'm only just one man. But one of the best to come out during the end of October is a potent little nightmare from Argentina called When Evil Lurks. Welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller. Before we begin, please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. When Evil Lurks, aka CUANDO ACECHA la MALDAD, is new streaming on Shudder from IFC Films. It's directed and written by Demián Rugna. When a possessed man is found in an impoverished farmhouse, a pair of brothers, Pedro and Jimmy, played by Ezequiel Rodriguez and Demián Solomon, respectively, try to dispose of the body outside of their homeland, but end up losing the body along the way. Believing that they have gone far enough to remove the rotten or cursed body, they return home to find out that the demon infestation has followed them. Attempting to save his children, Pedro, with Jimmy in tow, race to evade the pervasive infestation that relentlessly follows them. Demián Rugna delivered a horrifying interdimensional ghost story with his previous film, Terrified, and follows it up with something even more horrifying to endure. From the very beginning of When Evil Lurks, there's a pervasive sense of ultimate dread, reminiscent of Brian Bertino's The Dark and the Wicked. Rugna delivers a film that will make you feel like you are crawling through the mire of the worst of human desperation. At times, it's a somewhat lighthearted farce as Pedro and Jimmy make all sorts of mistakes in trying to rid their village of the evil, bumbling through one muck-up after another. These two protagonists are not the sharpest pitchforks in the barn. It's sort of a comedy of errors at the beginning, but because those afflicted with the evil look so horrifying, do such heinous things, and the situation is so dire, it's really hard to laugh. Much like Terrified, which was sort of one story, but could easily be the tale of three different experiences going into three different haunted houses, so it plays out sort of like an anthology. When Evil Lurks consists of one terrifying sequence stacked over another with growing intensity. Each one involves the way this demonic plague spreads throughout the countryside. Some are foreboding, such as the scene of the farmer discovering one of his sheep to be possessed, and some are downright shocking, as with the most memorable scene of the film involving the family dog and a small child. No matter if it's a bombastic or whispering shock, When Evil Lurks is ridden with one effective scene after another, involving disturbing violence and palpable dread. Added to the horror are some gnarly scenes of gore and disturbing imagery. The initial possessed man is reminiscent of the gluttony corpse from Seven, overweight and riddled with sores so much to the point where he can hardly move. It's a terrifying sight, and one of the most gruesome things you'll take away from this movie. But that's just the beginning of the wonderful blood and gore effects on display. Some are subtle things, like mounds of hair being pulled from someone's throat, while others are more in your face, like a possessed woman chewing on the body of her child while walking down a dark road. All of them chilling and offering up gore you may have seen before in other films, but never this harrowing. The two leads, Ezequiel Rodriguez and Demián Solomon, present a wonderful ground-level way of experiencing these horrors. They know very little about this demonic plague, so they come into it with inexperience and ignorance. This forces other characters in the know, like the local bruja, to explain the 7 rules to dealing with these demons known as the rotten. These rules, number 1, do not use electric lights. For the shadows they cast, draw them in. Number 2, stay away from animals. Number 3, do them no harm. Number 4, take nothing close to them, for they are attached to it. Number 5, never say the devil's name, for that calls them. Number 6, never use a gun. Number 7, do not fear death, for if you fear a hole, it will open under your feet. There's been a lot of thought put into the lore behind these possessions, so one might think that this horrific tale Demián Rugna is telling may only be the first chapter. With the amount of raw human emotion and soul-searing moments of sheer horror he's able to capture in this single movie, an elaboration of this world would be nothing but a gift for horror fans all over. Treat yourself with Rugna's latest horror masterpiece. He's an Argentinian director who deserves more notice, as is When Evil Lurks, one hell of a strong deep dive into dread-filled horror.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're doomed. Oh, you're doomed. You're doomed. You're doomed. Live the life that you are meant to be. Live inside